the secret behind that tiny chip. Have you ever wondered what's inside the tiny chip embedded in your credit card? That small, golden square that seems to make your payments more secure than the old magnetic strip? It's not just a shiny piece of plastic, it's actually a mini computer. In this section, you will explore the inner workings of the chip, and how it quietly protects your money every time you swipe, tap, or insert it into a reader. Footnote: this section introduces the core concept of the security and functionality of the EMV chip, a critical advancement in payment technology. Why we switched from magnetic stripes. Recall the days when magnetic stripe cards were ubiquitous. Those magnetic strips stored your card's information unencrypted. Every time you swiped, your card number, expiration date, and security code were transmitted as is, vulnerable to interception. If someone skimmed the data, they could easily duplicate the card for fraudulent use. The introduction of EMV chips, developed by Europe, MasterCard, and Visa, marked a monumental shift in how card security works. Instead of just storing data, these chips process it, and that makes a huge difference. Footnote: this section highlights the security flaws of magnetic stripes and the upgrade to EMV chips as a solution to these vulnerabilities. What's actually inside the chip? Inside the tiny chip on your card lies a sophisticated microprocessor, the brain of the chip. This processor handles cryptographic operations and manages your card's encrypted data. The chip also contains secure memory, where your card's data is stored, not in the same manner as the magnetic stripe. Here, the data is encrypted and tightly protected. A tiny operating system runs the instructions for every transaction, and a cryptographic engine creates unique transaction codes, cryptograms, for each purchase. The chip doesn't just store data, it actively computes, verifies, and secures every transaction, making it far more secure than the old magnetic stripe. Footnote: this section provides insight into the microprocessor and cryptographic components of the chip that work to secure transactions. How a chip card works during a transaction. Let's walk through the process when you insert your chip card into a reader. First, the terminal powers the chip via small metal contacts on the card. The chip then wakes up and establishes a secure connection with the payment terminal. The chip proves its authenticity through digital certificates and cryptographic keys, ensuring the card hasn't been tampered with or cloned. Instead of transmitting your actual card data, the chip generates a unique one-time code, cryptogram, for each transaction. This dynamic data makes it virtually impossible for hackers to use intercepted information for future transactions. Footnote: this section explains the authentication process and dynamic data generation during chip-based transactions, focusing on how encryption works to protect the cardholder. Why chip cards are more secure. The increased security of chip cards stems from dynamic encryption. Unlike magnetic stripes that carry static data, chip cards generate a unique transaction code for every use. Even if a criminal intercepts the code, it cannot be reused for future transactions. Moreover, the chip can detect tampering or abnormal terminal activity. If a security threat is detected, the chip can even erase its memory, essentially self-destructing to prevent data theft. This level of security makes chip cards significantly safer than traditional magnetic stripe cards. Footnote: this section discusses why chip cards are more secure due to dynamic encryption and their ability to self-destruct in response to threats. Tap-to-Pay. How contactless chips work. With the rise of tap-to-pay cards, Many consumers now use near-field communication (NFC) technology. Instead of inserting the card, the NFC chip communicates wirelessly with the terminal using short-range radio waves. This process is nearly identical to chip insertion but is faster and more convenient. Like the chip insert method, tap-to-pay still relies on the same dynamic encryption and verification systems. The one-time cryptographic code is generated and transmitted wirelessly, ensuring the same level of security. Footnote: this section outlines the functioning of tap-to-pay technology, emphasizing the security and efficiency it shares with chip-based cards. The role of the bank and card network. While much attention is given to the card and reader, the real power behind the chip card transaction lies in the back-end systems. The one-time cryptogram generated by the chip must be decrypted and verified by your bank in real time. The bank uses its own secure version of the card's data to check the code and match it against the transaction details. Additionally, card networks like Visa or MasterCard act as communication bridges, ensuring the smooth transfer of information between the merchant, bank, and card issuer. Footnote: this section explains the role of banks and card networks in ensuring secure and real-time transaction validation. Chip and PIN versus chip and signature. You may have noticed that some transactions require you to sign, while others ask for a PIN. Both methods use the chip, but the authentication process differs. With chip and signature, you authenticate yourself with a signature, while chip and PIN requires a personal identification number. Chip and PIN is considered more secure, as it's more difficult to forge a PIN than a signature. In many countries, such as the UK and Australia, chip and PIN is the standard, though in the United States, chip and signature remains more common. Footnote: this section contrasts chip and signature with chip and PIN authentication methods, with a focus on security benefits. What's next for credit card chips? Despite the advanced security of current chip cards, the technology is still evolving. Some newer cards include biometric authentication, like fingerprint sensors integrated into the chip. Others are embedding dynamic CVVs, the 3-digit number on the back of your card, which changes every few hours. The future of chip cards may include deeper integration with smartphones, wearables, and digital IDs, making your wallet slimmer and your payments even faster and more secure. Footnote: this section discusses future developments in credit card chip technology, such as biometric and dynamic CVV integrations. Now that you know the secrets behind your credit card chip, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more insights into the technology that's transforming the way we pay.